Good morning and welcome to Kingdom Inspired Kids, or should I say, welcome back to Kingdom Inspired Kids podcast where parents talk. We encourage parents and kids to grow up in faith, confidence, and purpose. I'm your host and founder, Calvin Boyd, and today we're diving into a powerful and often overlooked topic: ADHD in teen girls, the hidden side you're not talking about. If you ever looked at your daughter and thought, she's so smart, she's so creative, but why does she seem so distracted, emotional, or anxious? Well, you're not alone. A lot of parents have asked themselves that same question. So today we're going to unpack why ADHD often looks different in girls, what that means for self esteem and behavior, and how parents can build confidence and connection instead of conflict. Because sometimes, as parents, we think that we're helping in situations and we're not necessarily helping the way that our daughter needs us to help. My first question for you guys is why it's harder to see ADHD in girls. I can tell you, if I compare my daughters, I have one that is extremely super focused on things, and you can't hardly get her to stop doing what she's doing, because she's so super focused. And then I have another daughter that is like really hyper and really, kind of hyperactive, impulsive. Well, when I talk to them, one of my daughters is like, "Oh no, I don't have ADHD." And I'm like, "Yep, you absolutely do," because ADHD is sometimes harder to diagnose in girls, or it's harder to see in girls. So let's unpack a little bit of what this thing looks like. Most people picture ADHD as the hyper little boy bouncing off the walls, blurting out answers in class, losing their backpack, they can't find their pencils, and it's something that you see every day, every week. But for many girls, ADHD looks completely different. It looks like your daughter may be daydreaming. They may be a perfectionist where everything has to be a certain way. I have one of those too. They could be quiet. I have a daughter that's quiet. They could be frustrated. I have a daughter that's frustrated. And they could be emotionally overwhelmed. So I've seen all of that in my daughters. It looks like trying so hard to fit in and keep up that they collapse when they get home because they're exhausted. They are trying to figure out where they fit in, who their friends are, and like what kind of social organizations or groups they should be in, because they're trying so hard to fit in that it really exhausts them. And as a parent, we don't always pay attention to those things. We take it as being disrespectful, unconcerned, nonchalant, but it's not always those things. So I want you guys to really pay attention to these things if you're seeing any of these behaviors in your daughter, because these are things that will help you get to the diagnosis or help you kind of figure out what's going on with your daughter. Many girls don't get diagnosed until they're in high school. Some are not even diagnosed until adulthood because they're good at masking. I can tell you, as a woman, we're good at what the kids call putting on the front, stunting. We're really good at hiding things and masking things and wearing this mask that everything's okay when things aren't okay. They try to hold it together. They try to avoid standing out or being labeled as lazy or dramatic. And when they can't keep up with anyone, what happens? Their self-esteem, it starts to dwindle away. It starts to crush them. And self-esteem takes a huge hit. Like when you're trying really hard to fit in, even at home or wherever you are, you're trying to fit in and it doesn't fit. It's not working. Our daughters start to believe that there's something wrong with them. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with her brain. It just works differently. So that's the thing about children, people with ADHD. I've said it before in my podcast, these are some of the most creative people that you will ever meet. These people invent apps, and like they're actresses and actors, and like they're business owners and CFOs and CEOs. Like they are super smart people, very creative people. Their brain just works differently, and they have to know how their brain works so that they can navigate through their day to day. Now let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about the emotional side of ADHD in teen girls. Teen girls with ADHD often feel emotions more deeply than others. They might cry easily, they might get frustrated fast, or shut down completely when they feel misunderstood. And a lot of our daughters have felt misunderstood, or they have not just felt it, it has been an actual thing, it's been a reality. This isn't manipulation or drama, it's emotional dysregulation, and it's a part of how their brain processes information. They might not, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this, they might not be as dramatic or emotional as you think. And if so, it could be because of the way their brain is functioning and processing information. People with ADHD don't process information the same way that everybody else does. And so what happens a lot of time is that they're misunderstood, even as an adult, when you get to a job and they think you're being dramatic or emotional or whatever they may call it. It's not that. It is not that. It is the way the brain works. It is absolutely the way the brain works. And so for me, I love dealing with people that have, I love mental health is what I'm saying. I love mental health because I think after COVID happened, people really started to show, like the mental health issues really started to show because people couldn't go to work, kids couldn't go to school, and you started to see those things. They started to come out more because we weren't as busy. We were shut in. And so it changed things for the society, for our world. And so I love dealing with these kind of things because it's so interesting to me how people are misunderstood and sometimes mishandled. The part of their brain, right, that their brain, the way their brain processes things, it can also, their brain, or they can also feel something called rejection sensitivity. It's where even small criticism or critique feels like huge rejection or failure. So when a teacher says, you just need to try harder, or a parent says, why can't you focus like your brother? It cuts deeper than we realize, and it affects our daughter's self-esteem. If your daughter feels like no one gets her, no one understands her, she's not trying to be difficult. She's trying to survive in a world that doesn't always see her wiring, how her brain is wired, how she thinks, how she processes things. But here's the good news. Awareness changes everything. Once your daughter understands that her brain is different, she will start to, and she's made aware of it, and that her brain's not broken, she can start working on things to help her and start using things to work with her instead of against her. So I would challenge you, if you are someone that's around someone that has some of these behaviors that we've talked about, like think about what you're saying before you say it, because words do hurt. Now let's switch gears a little bit more once again and talk about how to help your daughter thrive. Let's talk about what we can do as parents, mentors, and teachers. Number one, focus on effort over perfection. Praise the process, not the product. Instead of you got an easy A, say I'm proud of you, how you stay focused and finish that assignment. Number 2, encourage creativity and movement. Girls with ADHD often shine when they can express themselves through art, music, dance, sports, helping others. Number 3, build routines that make it life easier, not stricter for them. Use reminders, planners, and visual checklists, not as control tools, but as support tools because they need the support. Number 4, model self-compassion. Let her see you take breaks, make mistakes, and start over. Let her see you apologize. That gives her permission to be a human too. And lastly, remind your daughter of her worth and purpose. She's not behind, she's becoming. She's not enough, she is enough. She is fearfully and wonderfully made. God doesn't make mistakes. He designed her brain with purpose and intention. So I want you guys to really consider that. And to every parent listening, your daughter does not need to be fixed. She needs to be understood. When she feels seen, she believes in herself again. She starts to see that you have some compassion. She's being heard. She'll start changing. You'll start seeing some change. It'll help build her self-esteem. And to every teen girl out there, you're not just a diagnosis of ADHD. You're brave, you're bright, you're creative, you're capable, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you're what the world needs. The world needs your energy, your ideas, and your heart. So take this week, girls, parents, take this week and remind yourself of one truth. My brain works differently, and that is my superpower. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another mom, dad, teen, someone who needs encouragement today. And don't forget to subscribe to Kingdom Inspired Kids podcast, where parents talk. Every Wednesday, we're live at 7 a.m. Central Time for faith-filled conversations that help families thrive together. Until next time, stay kingdom inspired, and remember, your light shines brightest when you embrace who God has created you to be. I hope to see you guys soon. Have an amazing day.